Okay, okay. Welcome everybody to my live stream. Welcome to everyone, and we will be getting started soon. Just bear with me. I'm getting relaxed in the moment. We could say in the moment. Hey, Mr. Super, good to see you, brother. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This isn't what we're watching today. I'm just it's just an opening, so just bear with me. I'm eating cookies. Excuse me. Yes, eye candy is very beautiful. I love water. It'd be nice to go there. I know that. Wow, look at that. Wow, that's beautiful. Okay, okay. We will transition into speaking now. And we'll come back to the beautiful water, I promise. It is oh, what kind of cookies? They are yeah, you're gonna hate me for this, but they are Chips Ahoy Reese's peanut butter mixed. They have the peanut butter in it. You know, not very healthy, but damn, they are delicious, I must say. And yeah, yeah. So today, I kind of wanted to finish up where I left off the other night. It got really late, and I was dozing off, and then my crazy ass, once I cut off the stream, I went over to Roger Ledwell's channel, and I tried my best. Oh my goodness, I tried my best to hold my head up, and I had blueberry pie. So you suck, man. I love blueberry cobbler and stuff. Or peach cobbler. Actually, I had some very good blueberries, fresh blueberries and pineapple last night. Um, as I dozed off. It always seems like I sleep so much better when I just pig out on something, and it just takes up all my energy, and my energy is trying to digest the food right, and I just doze off really good that way. But anyway, I won't brag on my deliciousness much longer. So yeah, so where I left off the other night kind of was Speaking of negative refraction technology and how it bends light around certain things, and it kind of fools the radar in a way. And I think that there's a lot of that going on up above us because when you put on certain filters and you look up, you peer up into the sky, all of a sudden you see all these different little things shooting around, and comet-like objects. I don't know what comets actually are. I don't know if it's just a light thing happening up there in the ionosphere, and it's just super focused beam or something. Uh, Forgive me if I sound like an idiot. I just don't know uh, right offhand. So what we can see right through different filters and through different spectrum analyses that yeah, there's actually a lot of things going on up there, and I don't want to sound like I'm too smart and like, oh, it's like 1,200 miles away, and exactly there's this going on. Like, I have no clue, right? But I do have a clue, and I'm starting to zero in on it using AI as my guinea pig. Um, but yeah, it says I've been keeping your link around. Hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Like, it's I think it's if we're going to be about our realm and try to know as much as we can, right, and give the good word to other people, then we should probably dive in, a little heavier than most would. Um, so where we're standing, it's there's been a lot of studies done over the years, over the decades, and you know, um, they're pretty good at knowing a lot of, we're not knowing, but honing in on some of these tests that have been done that can tell us more about where we're standing. But um, I'm super interested, just personally, what what I don't know, right? Like really draws me in. So I'm like, okay, let me try to get as close as I can with these oscillations and these different modes of um, radiation output, right? Different colors, different spectrums, and and then show people like what I'm finding and what looks like what we can say we know a little bit more about. I would be happy to contribute to that, because when I hear everyone say that we don't know anything, right? Like, and then we just kind of leave it at that. It leaves me, half full, like half satisfied, like eating half a cookie and looking at the other half, like, you know. So, so where I left off the other night, I kind of want to jump back into it in a way. Like, it's not exactly where I left off, but if anyone's interested in where exactly I did leave off, ask me about it. Maybe we can jump back into a few other files. And with that being said, I was trying to figure out how to screen share, right, where it's not just a file like this waterfall I was just playing. Like, I need to know how to share with you guys mm, just my screen from where I'm looking, because that's where all the good stuff is. That's where all my research is, and I want to kind of, as I read, I want to show you guys that. So I know I was unprepared. I just jumped on just because I can. But let me try to get to um that. Okay, let me stop sharing this and let me go uh, to to where I can share, but share in a different way. Okay, it says yes, stop screen, and I want to go back to see. There's video file, image, invite guests. Yes, I will drop a link here in a minute. You guys want to come up and chat again? That would be awesome. But let's see, Google Slides. Oh, here it is. Add file from. It says your computer. Let me see if it will let me add this. No, it doesn't. Okay, let me go to, trying to get where my Copilot will be up here. That would be awesome. But instead, let me play this while I try to figure that out. I'm gonna play this. This is something I did want to play. So it says supercharger started. Okay, so I'm going to play a video. If you would just bear with me, I will get it up here. Share screen, and the MEQ, the dimming torsion app. Okay, so it doesn't seem to be on here exactly. So let me upload that to here on my YouTube. Sorry guys, I'm a rookie. I know, damn it. Kick me in the butt. I know. Horrible. I'm horrible. And go to history. History. What is history? I don't know. It seems to be something like this. Okay, jaw dropping. A brief guide to electromagnet. No. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's a. Okay, yeah. Let me play this one instead. This was another video I wanted y'all to see. Comes, put it up, add to. Okay. What? What's going on? Okay, this is weird. It is not playing. Okay. Share screen. Share screen. Okay, that. Don't you love it when you compare and everything just doesn't fall together quite right? Let's see. Go to history again, and I will go to this video. So this is another couple of nighttime thing here, videoing a comet in the Andromeda Galaxy. Yeah, pointing my 12-inch Dobson. Here we go. Telescope in real-time video mode on comet. Okay, so I'm gonna pause this. Now I can share. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't quite get it right the first time, but I'll bet you I'll nail it this time. Watch this. Pointed my 12-inch Dobson telescope. Bam, share. Bam, play and add to screen. Now you guys are gonna like this. I know. I have a
telescope videos in the past. You're not going to see the horizon too well with my phone camera, but I have found it. I got my A7S right now, and I'm using my 12-inch aperture. I got other scopes, but this is nice and portable, believe it or not.
I'll be right back.
The Dobsonian, and we're going to try out the Dwarf 3 a time lapse to see. I ain't got a lot of time because I got to go to bed and go to work, but looks to be a good night. All right, that Comet Lemon really brightened up. And this is the northwest side. I'm upper Midwest, like southwestern Wisconsin. It's not very late right now. It's 7:19 p.m. and I'd say it's about 20 degrees above the horizon, just behind the handle of the Big Dipper. Check that out. I'm using my Sony A7S with full spectrum. I'm going to put in my A7S II in the 4K, but I want to take a couple pictures of this thing. About 200. There is 160,000 ISO. And look at that. tail on that thing. It's pretty good. And I don't know if I'll even get out my 4K Sony. Took some pretty cool pictures. Said this is there's no filter on this camera, IR or infrared. And that's full video mode. Pretty awesome. Like real awesome. But tell you what, just for the heck of it, we are going to put on the 4K Sony. Right, there's the 4K A7S II in 4K, same exact settings. And I like the other one better with a full spectrum. I think I'm going to have to mod a A7S II to full spectrum or get another one. That's full video mode. Weird isn't better. In fact, actually, I haven't even focused it yet. Hold on. I'm going to go back to the A7S full spectrum camera. A couple pictures there. I don't think it will come out as good as the other one. I'm learning something tonight with this Comet between full spectrum and regular. Gonna let it sit here a minute and run. Cool. That right there is picture profile 7 in video mode, 20 frames a second.
Excuse me. You guys checking out these whatever they are zipping by here? Pretty high resolution, I would say. But if you squint your eyes a little bit, you'll see way back. You'll see these little tiny dots moving around as well. And here's some drone thing. Don't look like a regular plane, but whatever that was.
That was pretty cool. Actually, what I'm going to do is turn my shutter speed down just to show you. That's 1/8 of a second, 320,000 ISO with this Sony video mode.
That's letting a lot of light
turn
in.
my ISO down, make it clearer. But that is not cool or what. I'm going to go into Vivid. Now this is auto white balance with that full spectrum camera. I want to keep my shutter speed turned up though. in case something flies by pretty good and it don't look like a big long line. But I can't run this camera on auto white balance because of the filters gone. And that's the camera set at 2500 K for color temperature. All right, I got to pack it up and go home. Pretty neat. Another comet. Another
Hey,
year.
look at that.
Cooler satellite went right by it.
Yeah, it calls it satellite. Hey, what is a word? It's just a word, bird. But whatever it is, they're consistently always flying by. So, I don't know. I know a lot of. Ooh, did you see that? Just shoot by like extremely fast. Okay, that's that. All right, let's switch it up. I took a 2-hour 4K clip using my Sony A7 II and a fast F. It's up to you guys. You guys want to check this one out as well? We can do that. I love his videos, man. Right, at least 64x in sections showing these things you normally wouldn't see. Okay, I'm gonna mute up and I'm going to make this a bigger screen so we can see more of the sky. And how you doing, Dr. Bass? Good to see you, brother. Everybody, welcome. I'm sure, guys, a lot of this is in regular speed now. Like the other day, I slowed it down so you can see some things. But if you just imagine how fast these things are going across the screen, some of them. I mean, dude, there's no humans in those. Couldn't be. It'd be like a pancake, right? I mean, Jesus. Okay, all right. Let me stop that. Here you go. You guys see the rippling effect there in front of the moon? Is that right there? I mean, it's almost to me, it's like, in a different spectrum. Of course, you can't see it with your bare eye, but that's like the waving of the ether, right? It's like ether waves instead of water waves. That's just my take. I'm a nerd though. It's all good. Very good question, Jeremy. And also different speeds and very, very different heights and directions. I think, in my opinion, I think there are sideways vortices that are like tornadoes, and that these are like highways up there, right? And as it spins, if you can take hold of that force, that directional force, then you can jettison, like just super fast in that direction, right? That's just my opinion. Seeing crazy stuff flying around up there at night with our naked eyes. Yes, you know, I think, like I was my last my last excuse me, my last live was speaking of negative refraction technologies and how to hide a lot of this. Um, you know, through the bending of light around certain objects, and these would be military, right? But I do think there are rich civilian people that have access to these kind of uh, transportation, let's say. Um, Now, what kind of field is around it to allow them not to get smushed like little bugs? I don't know, but I'd like to have access to that kind of technology. Would make a cool ass slingshot, you know? Yes, yes, yes. Like Mario Kart, Dr. Bass. Exactly. Like we'll call them the Lord Racer Kart. Yeah, that'll be our we'll have to patent that, and copyright that word, man. So no one steals it. Lord Racer Karts. Welcome, Lord. Good to see you, brother. Okay. Did anyone else see that little pointy looking thing that was up there? Whoa, look at that one. I'm gonna have to just bear with me, guys. I'm gonna rewind that just a little bit, because right up here on this section right there, you see that one? That's got like a very pointy shape. Look at that. Ah, there it is. Bam. See it right there? If y'all can see my little circling mouse. What is that? It don't look like well, that one's, well, damn it. Now I might be wrong. I'm seeing little, maybe it's just the angle of the, but this one looks extra pointy for some reason. Okay, I'm gonna stop nerding out now. Get back to the show.
EVE Online is a vast universe.
Okay, if there's one AI site builder you need to meet, this is Dope Tech from Wix. Now, this whole flow is a conversation, so your words actually build your website. I'm going for a store. And after a free-flowing conversation, I get this detailed site brief. And just like that, my first draft is ready. That's
disciplines. McGinty AI is pushing AGI boundaries with fractal-based learning models. Imagine AI seeing patterns in data that elude human minds. By harnessing quantum entanglement, McGinty AI ventures into uncharted territory. This AI doesn't just process information, but understands and learns from it. With great power comes great responsibility. The immense power of AI demands a powerful security framework. McGinty AI has built an impenetrable digital fortress for the Stargate project with Quantum Guard Plus. Quantum Guard Plus leverages quantum mechanics to create an unhackable security layer. McGinty AI's zero-trust architecture continuously verifies and authorizes every interaction. This ensures innovation can flourish without fear. With McGinty AI, the future of AI is secure. In cutting-edge science, collaboration is key. McGinty AI pursues joint ventures with giants like OpenAI and Oracle. Imagine their combined expertise pushing AI boundaries. It's about igniting innovation, revolutionizing healthcare with AI-powered diagnostics, transforming energy with intelligent grids. McGinty AI knows collaboration unlocks AI's potential. How do you measure the performance of something as complex and nuanced as artificial intelligence? Traditional metrics fall short. McGinty AI is tackling this challenge head-on, developing novel evaluation metrics that provide a truer measure of AI's progress. We're talking about metrics like entropy and coherence, which delve into the very essence of how AI processes information and makes decisions. These metrics are like peering into the mind of a thinking machine, providing insights into its cognitive processes This is about moving beyond simplistic measures of accuracy and efficiency and into the realm of understanding how AI thinks, learns, and adapts. With McGinty AI, we're not just building the future of AI, we're defining how we measure its success. As we've seen, McGinty AI isn't just pushing the boundaries of artificial intelligence, it's shattering them. From revolutionizing data center infrastructure to pioneering AGI, they're building the future of AI, one breakthrough at a time. By partnering with McGinty AI, the Stargate project is set to achieve groundbreaking advancements in AI technology, advancements that will reshape industries, redefine possibilities, and ultimately propel humanity forward. This is just the beginning. Stay tuned for more updates on how McGinty AI continues to push the boundaries of innovation. The future of AI is brighter than ever, and it's a future that McGinty AI is building today.
Okay. Mm, excuse me. I'm enjoying a couple cookies. All right. So with that being said, what McGinty is trying to represent is a jump on AGI, right? Um, yes, Flag, I agree with everything you're saying. There's got to be a way that we, right, use our time wisely with um, putting the middle finger to the man and using technology in a way that will benefit our local communities, right, in our own way. Now, we can never convince others to do what we think is right, or we can show them all day what Trump has done and where it's leading. This biodigital convergence is either in your hands, used in a good way to benefit yourself or your community, or we can try to debate everybody and make it a verbal battle, right? Or we can go to these um, big beautiful build places and blow them up, chop down the towers. We can do all that. I prefer the latter. I mean, C4 does the job. I'm joking, man. Don't take me serious. But thermite does work quicker. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, um, yeah. I'm joking. It's all for entertainment. But back to my point was, there are these places that do see where it's going, right? And starting off, either a new business or converting their existing technologies to, not only give the information to people, but guide them in using, types of energies that are well, let's just put it this way, will pay for themselves almost immediately, right? And you can run your own ways of converting information into energy, or energy into information, and we could talk about that all day. But my thing is, they have advanced to a point, right? That they may have told us about in movies and this and that, but bro, they've always been, and they always will be. And I say those that have the money and technology are always going to be ahead of, and use that advantage against people like you and I, right? Um, it's unfortunate that it seems to be that way, but this is why people like me or people in my community are using this beginning stage, since we do have the right information now, and you know we can build ourselves up in our smaller companies and communities to feel much more empowered, that we have the information they've given us or let out, and we know how to use it, right? And there are technologists and engineers that, of course, we can put together and try to build communities that have the only purpose of building these machines now that can produce energy that we don't have to go through the bigger companies, right? So good to see you, DeWitt. Nice you're here, brother. Thank you for joining us. If you do have the knowledge of making these, using these magnetics, right, and to our advantage, right, to run these machines for much longer, right, than needed, and we only have to replace certain parts that wear and tear. We're never going to have full free energy machines, because they want to crack down on shit like that. But we can have 90% efficiency. You know what I mean? Like very easily. And you can make a bunch of little machines that feed into one bigger machine that can run a house, something like that, right? And we get that kind of information and plans and blueprints out to people to build their own, right? And eventually, at least that'll be one less worry we have to do. Now, technology, as far as the AI sector and design firms, let's say, that use AI to their advantage, of course, I'm sure they have a higher AI ability, right? Capabilities that give you much better and truer information, right? To build things. It says, "Hey, what's up, squad? Ironwork, good to see you, brother. Flag, you said the Trump card comment threw me off. I happy to correct myself. It's all good, brother. Don't worry about that, man. We're here to learn from each other and to better involve our smaller groups to a point to where we are okay, right, with being either corrected or something like that. Well, I'm okay with that. I just want our groups to get to the point where we get along on the on the track that we are building instead of destroying or holding back one another. So we do have a lot of good AI stuff. We do have a lot of technologies. We do have a lot of great minds and people that are capable of doing this. Now, the equipment and the blueprints, that's I'll hope that I'm able to one day, complete some of these projects that I would like to. But my whole spiel here, and until we get to the next video, is you know recognize what's above us, right? Recognize the companies that are building these infrastructures so that the next iteration of gaming and technology and simulation and stuff like that, we're in it, bro. We're not going to stop it. I would like to like I said, C4 and Thermite do a great job, but I'm not advocating that you want to go and do that. My thing is, these people and companies are, creating these sectors that seem foreign to us, and it seems like, when they say space, it's like these alarms start going off all of a sudden. Space? Oh, what? Space? That's fake. But the education they fed us is pretty fucking fake. I have to say that. Now, with that being said, what we are starting to figure out, we shouldn't be afraid to tell each other and talk to each other about. So, that's hopefully that's where I come in, and I'm able to, poke people to ask these kind of questions and see what we can come up with more with putting our minds together. I think that that's more inspirational to me. And that's kind of my thing, inspiration. Oh man, and my TV is playing right now. It's showing some badass technology with this compressor and magnetics. That's pretty cool. All right, guys, let me pull up this video here, and I'm gonna mute up and play it for you guys. let me downsize this screen. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to go to my history and pull up the video I played earlier. It's the easiest way for me to find things is just to play it for a couple minutes and let it go. Okay. Now, I don't know how many of you guys know about converting alternating current to direct current and how that's possible. Well, in the mid to late 1800s, what they did is they used something called mercury arc rectifiers, and they would bring in these power lines from outside and run it into the mercury arc rectifier, and then these were the first battery powered cars, to where they couldn't charge batteries with alternating current. They had to have a direct current energy source. So they had to use these mercury arc rectifiers to achieve that. And I just wanted to show this because there are still a lot of these things out and about in our communities that we don't even realize. They're in a lot of like shut down buildings. And some of these people, how we see these big buildings and old pictures of empty cities. Well, these things were just, these huge mercury arc rectifiers were just left there in the infrastructure. And this is some of the technology that we're always like, hey, where did all, where, we were so, excuse me, if we were so, technological and smart back in the day, and we always claim that we see these empty cities, where is all the technology at? I'm about to show you some of it. It's actually pretty badass. So just give me 1 second. I'm gonna type this in. And then you guys can see some of the cool things that Mercury is capable of. Now, a lot of this is on my X account. I probably should drop that in here or just say that Mercury arc rectifiers. Fires. But yeah, because my X account I've had longer than this. I mean, there's stuff on my YouTube video playlists. Okay. Excuse me. Let me copy and paste this right here. But yeah, man, a lot of stuff. I'd spent so much time. I'd spent a lot of time. Paste. Sorry, excuse me, I gotta talk to myself. But I'd put a year and a couple months into my YouTube or my, damn it, sorry, excuse me. Trying to get this to accept. Okay. Okie dokie. I know I'm a rookie, guys. Excuse me. Okay, paste. There we go. I couldn't find the paste button. But yeah, man, I spent a year and a couple months building this this X account of mine, and yeah, it's pretty epic now, but it was fun. It was fun. All right, so this is a 5-minute video. Let me come back over here where I can screen share, and yeah, you guys are gonna like this. But yeah, man, it's pretty epic. I think I'll drop my my link for you guys. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna play this. And add to stage. Okay. Now, if you guys can not hear it, there we go. Play. Okay, so this is just an overview. And I'll just talk a little bit more after this.
Hi, Photonic and the guys and girls. Today we'll be looking at mercury arc rectifiers.
The two you see here are just the bulbs. The complete units would consist of other components like transformers and inductance coils.
By the way, these are things we can build, guys.
This one is
and,
for single phase operation with 2 anodes. The exciter anode and the starter anodes are
Good to see
common
you,
for
JJ.
both.
Thanks for being here,
However,
brother.
as the single phase has 2 anodes, the 3 phase has 3 anodes. For 6 phase, the secondaries of the 3 phase transformers are arranged to be 180 degrees apart. There is a pool of mercury at the bottom which forms the cathode, and it also creates an ionized gas, allowing the current to flow from anode to cathode. The current can only flow in one direction, and that forms
Okay, just real quick. So you see on the right here, there's like a little piece of metal with a bent end coming down in there. And you can't see the rest of it, but it's sealed off super, super good. So this bulb, we'll call it a bulb, but this vacuum piece of glass, vacuum chamber, right? So as long as it's 10 to the 4 to 10 to the 6, depending on its size, right? Well, once there's so much pressure in there and that gas coming up from the pool of mercury, what I'm trying to get at is once you spark it with about, usually it's 50 to 70,000 volts, then that spark and that what they call a 3 or 6 phase, depending on that's basically judging how fast it oscillates, right? The electric or the plasma. But what's really important about these is that the gaseous release from that pool of mercury will never go away. I repeat, will never go away. Once you start those guys, you better be wanting to use them for quite a while. I'll just put it that way. But all right, let's get back to it.
the basis of its operation. If alternating current is applied to an anode, the current will flow in the positive half
But if you can hear me, sorry about that. I don't know why this happened the other day. It just keeps kicking me off, bro. And I have to reload. So just bear with me. I'm bringing the video back up now. All right.
With 3-phase, the ripple will be 150 Hz, and 6-phase will be 300 Hz. So the more phases, the smoother the DC will be.
All right. I'm going to rewind it just a tad bit because what he just said was super important about converting it from AC to DC. All right, here we go.
With 3-phase, the ripple will be 150 Hz, and 6-phase will be 300 Hz. So the more phases, the smoother the DC will be. The emission of electrons is from an incandescent hotspot. It can be seen here moving over the Mercury surface.
This unit was a battery charger, so
That's what
therefore
they call
runs a lower current than the ones you've seen before.
Right. That was a plasmoid, by the way, y'all seen jumping across the mercury pool.
Here we can get an overview of the complete system. This one has no exciter, instead relying on a handle for the operator to start it. The AC supply is fed through this transformer, which is then tapped for various voltages. It then passes through the bulb, with the positive being produced at the cathode and the negative coming from the neutral on the transformer. The resulting DC is then fed through the inductance coil to smooth the current flow. On the front,
All right, I just wanted to pause it for one quick second so you guys could get a good look at this company. If you guys want to do any kind of, searching or looking up the history of these guys, I haven't myself yet. This is a newer video to me, but I would definitely be looking into that myself. All right, let's get back to it.
we have readouts for volts and amps, controls for starting, taps for varying the voltage, AC in and DC out. And that whole machine now has been replaced by one of these. From the late 19th century, rotary converters were also used for rectifying AC to DC. The two here are very small compared to the units on, say, the New York subway, but the principle is the same in that it is essentially an AC motor driving a DC dynamo. You can see the disadvantages of this immediately in that you have a mechanical moving part that wears out and needs maintaining.
Well, I hope you found that interesting.
And remember, if you like this crap, subscribe to our channel.
What did you say? If you like this crap? All right, give me 1 second.
The reason
Let me share something else. 1 second. Okay. 1 second here. Let me see if this pulls up. I'm going to play something on UAP. If you guys haven't seen this lately, here we go. This is going to just catch you up to what's been going on with UAP. Here we go.
Good morning, Chairwoman Luna, Ranking Member, Ms. Crockett, and members of the task force. And Dina Titus, I just knew we were going to get you involved in this topic at one point. Great to see you here. I'm George Knapp, Chief Investigative Reporter at KLAS TV in Las Vegas. I began my pursuit of this weird mystery way back in 1987. And for 38 years, I've always approached this as a news story. It's not a matter of faith or belief. To me, it's a story, and it's an important one. I'm proud to be here alongside these witnesses today, men who have seen strange things and step forward to tell the world about it. Whistleblowers and witnesses who step up are routinely insulted, belittled, or worse. They risk their reputations, their careers, their clearances, their livelihoods, and sometimes much worse than that, even their freedom. I know that one of the goals of the task force here is to figure out ways to protect whistleblowers and witnesses. And it's a tall order because so many of the things that happen to witnesses like these are extra legal. They're carried out by persons unknown, as Mr. Dave Grush, sitting up at the top of the room, knows all too well, including events in recent days that have happened to him. I want to share a couple of things that I've learned along the way on this long journey, and I submitted most of that in written form because I estimate that my statement here today would take about 4.5 hours. So I'm going to try to jump over and touch on the more important salient points. I submitted a detailed written statement for the record, and we'll go into a lot of that here. But the public has been told over and over since the late 40s, there's nothing to worry about here. These mysterious craft seen by millions of people in the skies, in the oceans, over the land are not real. They're not a threat. The witnesses are wrong. They're crackpots. Don't believe it. That changed for me. What got me hooked is the paper trail. Documents that were squeezed out of the U.S. government after the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, became the law of the land. And those documents paint a much different picture than what the public, the press, and Congress have been told over many years. The documents from military and intelligence personnel behind closed doors admit that, quote, these things are real. They're not fictitious. They can fly in formation. They're evasive, and they outperform any aircraft known to exist, including ours. The public, of course, as I said, has been told something much different. Back in 1989, I reported about a guy named Bob Lazar, who claimed that he worked at a facility dubbed S4 out in the Nevada.
Hey guys, if anyone knows, is this an older video? Am I tripping? I'm trying to look and see the date here. It says 2 months ago, discussion on UFO. So this isn't like the last year's. This is not too long ago. Is that what I'm getting? Months ago. This is also 2 months ago. Witnesses recount UFO sightings in opening statements at House hearing. This could be a newer one. Lockheed Martin. Let me. I'm just wanting to try to tie together some of the stuff that we were looking at earlier. And let's see, the material was not made here 2 months ago. This is Lockheed Martin. Now, this guy said he works for, he's just a journalist. Okay. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to let this continue to play and we'll see what comes out of it. If it gets a little too dry, then we'll have to kick him out. How about that? All right, here we go.
Nevada desert, very near to Area 51. He said he was part of a reverse engineering program. He said there are alien craft that will be taken apart to figure out how they operated out there. And that was a pretty tall order. I had clearly taken a dive into the deep end of the pool there. But in the years since then, I've interviewed dozens of other people, and I've detailed what their testimony has been in the written statement. They include Senator Harry Reid, Senator Howard Cannon, also of Nevada, a guy named Al O'Donnell, who was the first general manager of EG&G in Nevada, which managed the Nevada test site, which blew up hundreds of nuclear weapons. There's a guy named Dr. James Lakatsky, who was a career scientist with the Defense Intelligence Agency, who was the guy who initiated a program called OSAP, Advanced Aerospace Weapons Systems Application Program, which is, as far as we know, the largest acknowledged UFO program ever funded by the U.S. government, which put together an amazing pile of information that members of this committee and the world, most of which have never seen. The DIA still hasn't released 95% of what was.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
Prepared by that program at a cost of millions and millions of dollars. The one name I do want to bring up in this session, though, is Robert Bigelow. So looking into the idea of crash retrievals and reverse engineering, while OSAP, that program, was active, the DIA's contractor, Robert Bigelow of Las Vegas, made a bold attempt to acquire physical proof of UFO crashes. It's been widely reported and suspected that Lockheed Martin is one of the contractors, the defense contractors, that has held this stuff, stored it away in secrecy, and tried to.
Also, Lockheed Martin are the ones that kept airships from the world, and now they, just all of a sudden want to put that technology out for commercial use. Does anybody see what I see, that it's just a big money grab, and keep it from the little guy kind of thing? Yeah. Well, we definitely need to start ruffling some fucking feathers, because it would be nice to have an airship, right? To just go check everything out that we are questioning. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Figure out how it works. I have confirmed on the record that Robert Bigelow and a trusted
And welcome, Harmon. Thank you for coming, brother.
colleague from OSAP met with and negotiated with senior executives at Lockheed Martin and hammered out a deal wherein Bigelow's company, Bass, would receive a quantity of unusual material that had been stashed away and protected at a facility in California. That material was not made here. I want to move on now.
Okay, I'm going to go back just a little bit. I think he said a guy named Bigelow, and the name of his company is Bass. I don't know if that's an acronym, but I'm going to come back just a little bit, and let's see. Let's try to catch that again, because I'd like to look into that. Supposedly the guy, his company Bass, received all these awesome kind of materials that he said weren't made here. But I'd like to. Hey, what's up, Plain and Simple Truth? I would like to try to confirm that. If you guys can help me out with that, that'd be nice. Appreciate it. Let's go back a little bit.
Martin, and hammered out a deal wherein Bigelow's company, Bass, would receive a quantity of unusual material that had been stashed away and protected at a facility in California. That material was not made here. I want to move on now to the Russia files, because that was going to be sort of the central impetus of what I was going to talk to you about today. Back in the early 90s, I got into Russia, met with a number of their defense officials, Ministry of Defense and others, who confirmed for me that Russia had been doing the same thing that the United States had been doing, that is, secretly studying UFOs while publicly saying something completely different. The documents and interviews that I obtained and have now shared with this task force show that the USSR launched what is almost certainly the largest UFO UAP investigation in the world. The first phase of that was an order was sent out to the entire USSR military empire that every unit, you see anything strange in the sky, a craft, an orb, something unusual, you had to gather all the evidence, collect testimony from the witnesses, look for physical evidence, and all of that information went into one program at the Ministry of Defense. Thousands and thousands of these reports came in. A lot of them were first routed.
Yes, that's called bottlenecking information, right? It's not given all of us, all of us guys down here, like, it's not giving us a chance to look into it ourselves, right? It all comes from, the top, the people that got the equipment to study, these type of phenomena. You know what I mean? Like, why not open up all this technology and stuff to allow us to also look into it? A lot of us are smart enough to know that how a lot of this stuff works, but it doesn't make it right that you squeeze all the other information, just into one program, right? Because, like he said, 95% of whatever's been captured or studied or looked into or documented, 95% of that hasn't made it to us. So, I don't think it's quite fair that what we can do is look up and see all this, all these craft or whatever's up there, and it could just be all, like the wit said, smoke, right? Where the company that has the technology pays off and gives direction to the ones that investigate what they're seeing up there, right? So it's like a closed loop to me, in my opinion, that needs to be opened. So let's hear him out a little bit more and see what he's saying. I do want to look into that guy, his company Bass. If any of you guys want to, also, that was the name.
To the KGB, but then back to another program that came after this collection effort called Thread 3. And Thread 3 was an analysis program.
Okay, an analysis program dubbed Thread 3 is something I'll look into as well.
Provided to the committee the documents of what they were trying to do. And essentially, they were trying to build their own UFOs. They were using the information from their observations and studies to try to figure out the technology. The guy who was in charge.
Not synonymous with aliens. He said UFOs, not aliens. Keep that in mind.
To that program, Colonel Boris Sokolov told me that their goal was to basically develop technology that would be superior to anything we had based on what they learned from UFOs.
Mr. Knapp, just in the name of time,
Sure.
To my understanding, did you have anything you wanted to submit for Congress to see in this committee?
I have submitted those documents.
Would you like to play any videos? Do you have a video that you would like to play?
I don't think it's for me to play.
No, that was.
Yes, play the motherfucker.
Yeah.
What?
Alexander's video.
Okay.
You can play it. He could narrate it.
Okay. We can, in the name of showing that.
Good. Finally, something that isn't a skip. Jesus. All right. Thank you, Lord. Yeah, Miss Luna, boy, she's hot. Boy, I'm telling you, hey, man. Hey, Miss Luna, if you're listening, hey, I got wheels that roll, baby. Hey, all right. We'll cut it out.
Video to everyone on task force. We'd like to play that video at this time.
Sure.
Wouldn't surprise you, I tell you. You always the BGSS team. That like 22,000 feet.
That shit took off earlier.
If we can get rid of the audio real quick. Mr. Wiggins and Mr. Knapp, we'll get back to what that video was in a moment, but we just want to make sure that it was entered into the record, as well as all the documents. Those will be able to be publicly found for everyone in the country to view. If we could, Mr. Knapp, we'll continue on the line of questioning, but I'm going to move on to Mr. Borland's opening statement.
Hi, I'm JT, and I made Result Hunter, the search engine for conservatives. Let me just tell you what it does. First of all,
Okay, right before this guy gets started, I just want to say this real quick. You know, what we just looked at looks exactly like what these different spectrums are showing, these different wavelength videos that I'm showing, guys. This guy that he's not a flat earther. He has no clue about UFO like stuff. He don't mention that on his videos. He talks about satellites and yada yada yada. Well, that looks exactly like something that I'm showing, to where it goes from solid to just darting off and still staying solid looking, or at least giving off the heat signature until it just disappears. Either it's just disappearing with some type of tech, it's going into some kind of different dimension, let's say, or it's just darting off super fast, right? And I can't say which one it is. I don't know, but it's only a couple of options, and that looks exactly like stuff that I look at. So here we go.
Good morning, members of the task force and the committee. I would like to express my gratitude for being invited to testify to the current task force created under the People's Chamber and the American public. As an American citizen, veteran, and intelligence community professional, it is an honor and a privilege to serve under oath before you on behalf of our country. I speak for myself and no former agency or company I have been previously affiliated with. My name is Dylan Borland, a former 1N1 geospatial intelligence specialist for the United States Air Force in an active duty enlisted capacity from 2010 to 2013. I've also been employed with BAE Systems and Intrepid Solutions as a senior analyst, expert in analyzing video, radar, and advanced electro-optical imagery for official identification of aerial order of battle, as well as naval and ground order of battle. I'm a federal whistleblower, having testified to both the ICIG and ARROW with direct firsthand knowledge of and experience with craft and technologies that are not ours and are reportedly operating without congressional oversight. In the global war on terror. During the summer of 2012, my team was on standby for weather and I returned to my barracks, naval and ground order of battle. I'm a federal whistleblower, having testified to both the as an American citizen, veteran, and intelligence community professional. It is an honor and a privilege to serve under oath before you on behalf of our country. I speak for myself and no former agency or company I have been previously affiliated with. My name is Dylan Borland, a former 1N1 geospatial intelligence specialist for the United States Air Force in an active duty enlisted capacity from 2010 to 2013. I've also been employed with BAE Systems and Intrepid Solutions as a senior analyst, expert in analyzing video, radar, and advanced electro-optical imagery for official identification of aerial order of battle, as well as naval and ground order of battle. I'm a federal whistleblower, having testified to both the ICIG and ARROW with direct firsthand knowledge of and experience with craft and technologies that are not ours and are reportedly operating without congressional oversight. Because of my direct knowledge of the reality of certain legacy UAP programs, my professional career was deliberately obstructed, and I have endured sustained reprisals from government agencies for over a decade. From 2011 to 2013, I was stationed at Langley Air Force Base, Virginia, conducting 24-hour operations via manned and unmanned aerial vehicles for Special Operations Forces in the global war on terror. During the summer of 2012, my team was on standby for weather and I returned to my barracks on base, and at approximately 0130, I saw an approximately 100-foot equilateral triangle take off from near the NASA hangar on the base. The craft interfered with my telephone, did not have any sound, and the material it was made of appeared fluid or dynamic. I was under this triangular craft for a few minutes, and then it rapidly ascended to commercial jet level in seconds, despite displaying zero kinetic disturbance, sound, or wind displacement. Some years after that experience, I was further exposed to classified information from the UAP legacy crash retrieval program through a sensitive position I held within a special access program. During this time, intelligence officers approached me in fear for their own careers, citing misconduct within these programs and similar retaliation that I was already enduring at this time. These issues include medical malpractice committed by Veterans Affairs staff, denial of work I performed while enlisted in the United States Air Force, forged and manipulated employment documents, workplace harassment, including colleagues being directed to not speak with me, manipulation of my security clearance by certain agencies, blocking, delaying, and ultimately removing my ability to be employed within the IC.
New Eden.
The retaliation I face and the retaliation against individuals I know who worked in these programs is what convinced me in March 2023 to become a whistleblower. I came forward out of concern for people's lives and to ensure I did everything I could to let our elected representatives know the truth about what is really happening in the executive branch. At the end of March 2023, I agreed to meet with AARO following the suggestion of other federal officials believing it was what our nation required of me. I had reservations with AARO due to assessments they were reporting publicly at the time as a misrepresentation of the truth. Because of these concerns, I did not share sources and methods information in order to protect current and former federal personnel who had firsthand exposure to technologies of unknown origin. I did not want anyone to face further retaliation beyond what they had already endured. And unfortunately, a staff member ended up getting in some trouble because of that. After David Grush testified under oath in the summer of 2023 and provided historic disclosure, I was then asked to go to the ICIG and did so in August 2023. It was very clear early on during my intake interview, which was video recorded under oath, that the objective was to solely assess how much I know and not move forward with an investigation with new information I provided them. The aftermath of that IG complaint still troubles me to this day. Since my ICIG complaint, I've been prevented from resuming prior employment and can confirm I'm still blacklisted from certain agencies within the intelligence community. In addition, multiple agencies attempted phishing attacks to assess what I had divulged to the Inspector General, including being asked to disclose details of my ICIG complaint during a CI polygraph for a position unrelated to UFO UAP matters as recently as November 2024. As I sit before you today, I and many other whistleblowers have no job prospects, no foreseeable professional future, and a nation every single one of us came forward to defend. Numerous individuals have come forward in various ways to reveal the truth of the UAP reality as patriots and defenders of our nation. Yet many feel discarded, isolated, hopeless, separated from the country they serve. Efforts to rectify this situation for all whistleblowers have been difficult and troubling. And to my fellow whistleblowers and officials who know this information, I offer you my apology, something that I have never gotten, and I'm giving it to you. I swore an oath to the Constitution of the United States, an oath that demands truth and transparency for our democratic republic to function. Each day, these truths remain hidden from our citizens. Humanity drifts further from the principles our nation was founded to uphold. Each day, victims of crimes committed by agencies and companies maintaining this secrecy are denied justice as another day our Constitution is shredded. In 2023, Patriots provided this committee and the executive branch with undeniable proof of the UAP reality, and I commend your continued commitment. The future of humanity is one which we either travel to the stars or regress to the Stone Age with this technology. My career has been to deliver critical information to decision makers. Your role as elected by your representatives is to act on it. The time to act is now. Thank you.
Know who that guy is, you know, no, I won't say personally. Of course, I don't know him personally, but I've never heard, you know, anything about him or from him. I don't know. Do y'all notice how the guy, Jeremy Corbell, I think his name is, he always is sitting center stage behind these people with his his hands like, in some weird position that, yeah, for one particular airship. Seems similar tech is used, was moved to other things and missed this. I have to look into it a bit more. Yeah, there's a couple of things I want to look into as far as, this BAS company that we're talking about, and a program called Thread 3. I'll have to look into that a little more. But apprehended accounts frozen since. I don't know. I'm not sure, DeWitt. It says, as soon as you try and blow a whistle, you're a marked man. Right. It's absolutely crazy to think they were laying ride being honest. Yeah, and I hear a lot about even people that aren't in the intelligence committee, that they're unable to use certain programs as far as like banking companies or online banking, and that they are, I wouldn't say blacklisted, but they're shadow banned almost, like, to use certain things. And so I have heard of things like that, but more of this reconnaissance, surveillance, intelligence industry. They seem to be in bed with the NGOs a whole lot deeper, right, than just on governmental level. And now, that's not to say that some people aren't informed in Congress and stuff like that, and they play dumb because they get, a kickback or something, or their part of the country gets more attention. And so I'm not 100% sure. I was really basically showing this because I haven't seen it myself, and it's UAP based, and I do like knowing that, what I'm seeing these days. And I never knew nothing about whistleblowing and stuff like that before I really started hearing about it through the grapevine. And what I'm seeing in the sky, though, seems to be what these people are saying, that are whistleblowing and trying to get information out there, that not all of them are only in it for certain reasons. Now, I'm sure a percentage of them are, or they just stop whistleblowing because they're either threatened or paid off or something. But there are some consistent whistleblowing about what I seem to be seeing with my own, eyes, my own research, which is enlightening, to say the least. And it feels good to know that, I'm not involved anyway with what, stuff like this, like having to whistleblow or whatever. I can just be as honest as I want, blow the pistol, without feeling like I'm a whistleblower. I'm just speaking on it and showing people, so they can make up their own mind. But I know I'm rambling. I'll get back to what I was